Restaurant, you were having the best of the best when it came to beef, but Blair Lebsack, you're telling us there's a new beef in town.
So yeah, this Nouveau Beef, it comes from Nature's Green Acres, and so it is an Angus Simmental cross, so it is kind of one of your traditional breeds for beef that we use in this province, but what it is all 100% grass-fed, and it's a little bit younger of an animal. So again, here, rather than letting them go through the winter where it would be, have to go onto grain, they finish them on the grass at the end of the year. And that's what we're doing. We're doing a Nouveau Beef Schnitzel. So what we're gonna do is we have a couple things to get started. I'm just gonna lightly put that salt on there, let it start to just kind of sit in there for a second. And what we're gonna do is just a little sauce with it. So we have some shallots here. And this sauce, for us, in the restaurant world of using culinary terminology, there's a thing in Italy called a bagna cotta, and that is a mixture where they use butter and olive oil to make a sauce. So rather than just using one, they use both.
You don't have to convince me.
And so that's what we're doing here. Traditionally, they would use anchovies. In it, we again try to keep that local theme, so we're not using the anchovies, but we're getting some similar flavors with a little bit of the acidity and then some sweetness from this roasted garlic. So we're starting off with some shallots and some roasted garlic, and this roasted garlic goes a long way. And what ends up happening is this is where the butter and the oil is going to kind of emulsify into. It's going to kind of hang out and be all friendly with that.
So if you were just to put raw garlic in, you're kind of cheating the system.
It's a little bit too harsh. Here we want the sweetness from the roasted garlic, and to finish, essentially already being soft and kind of to that paste.
This is how I want to cook.
Format.
Everything's already nicely laid out in these little jars, all lined up. It's like it feels foolproof.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the Nouveau Beef, I'm assuming you just can't go to your regular grocery store and buy Nouveau Beef.
Yeah, essentially this one here, we do use a specific farm, and that's exactly what it is. Nature's Green Acres is the only ones around in the province that are doing it. They kind of coined that term Nouveau Beef just to show that it's that it's not anything scary or anything like that. It's beef that's just a little bit younger.
A trendy food of 2015.
Yeah, trendy food, exactly. And so what we're gonna do now is just add some of this butter into here, and we're just gonna let that start to melt in. And so as we get started on the schnitzel, this is gonna just slowly start to go into here, maybe a bit more wine, maybe just a little bit more wine into there, and that's gonna go on top of there. I'm just gonna keep, since we have just this 2 burners, I might just keep popping it on and off the heat there just so that it doesn't, we don't want it to completely melt, we want it just to kind of ooze into it like that.
Okay, awesome.
Now we're on to the schnitzel. So the schnitzel we're just gonna take and bread. And so this one here, you can do a full breading station if you want, which means your eggs and your flour and your breadcrumbs. But we want to make it a little bit lighter again and kind of keep it to that state where you just get a nice crisp crust.
If you want it nice, if you wanted a thicker crust, then that's when you would bring the egg in.
Yeah, exactly, a thicker crust. And now this is where we're just gonna, our pans were heating up, so we're just gonna see that it's smoking. And you want it to be enough oil that it's gonna kind of just almost simmer, like almost if we're hydroplaning on some water. This is what we want. And again, we're just going to finish this side with a touch of salt on here. We're using some coarse salt, so this one doesn't have to be. This is a coarse sea salt, so we don't need too much. And then again, just people don't like that much bread nowadays, so we're only going to actually bread one side. So we're just going to take it like this, and this is going to go in the pan, and we want it to just shimmer in the pan like this, and then we'll just continue on.
So if you can't get your hands on Nouveau Beef, you could get it. What's a good alternative?
This is a very traditional way of cooking. And what we're doing is we're just using a little bit, not one of your prime cuts that you would use for barbecuing on the grill or something like that. This one here that we're using is called the flat iron, and we can use cuts like this. And because you pound them out and make them a little bit thinner, so what you're doing is basically pre-tenderizing them, and then you just quickly cook them like this. And what you end up with is a nice tender cut of meat.
Oh, delicious. Thank you so much, Blair. I'm going to stop you there. We'll finish things up coming up in the next segment. And this is when I wish there was smell-o-vision so you guys could smell this at home too. Head to our website at breakfasttelevision.ca for this recipe. And as mentioned, we'll finish things up with Blair coming up in the next few minutes. Stay with us.